All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dave Cohen, the radio voice of the Panthers on behalf of Georgia State University and Georgia State University Athletics. I'd like to welcome everyone with us here at Center Park Credit Union Stadium and those Panther fans that are tuning in, watching this live via ESPN Plus for today's formal announcement regarding the future of our Georgia State basketball programs. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the 8th president at Georgia State University. Would you please welcome Dr. M. Brian Blake.
Good afternoon. Let me welcome all our guests to Georgia State. What a great day to be a Panther. Let's give another round of applause. I think Coach McGee's in here for his leadership. And also lending us part of his day today to really talk about our new start. It's just a fresh start for Panther basketball and really a boost to Panther athletics as a whole. So we're here for two things today, and I think they're really important. One is momentum, and the other is belief. And today, I think you will feel both of those. Let me start here. At Georgia State, athletics is not separate from our mission. It's just a powerful additive force to what we do. It's an extension of it. It builds community, it builds pride, and tells our story, not just across Atlanta, but across the country. But when we win, people pay attention. So that's exactly why we launched our next athletics vision. It's a bold 5-year plan grounded in simple belief that we're building something bigger than we are. A true college town downtown experience, a stronger investment in our student athletes, deeper connections with our fans, alumni, and a community, and a clear expectation we compete and we win. And let me be clear, basketball sits at the center of all this, and football too, Coach. It's one of the most visible ways that we connect our city, our university to the city and to a national stage. So today is not just about hiring coaches, it's about accelerating our dreams, accelerating our momentum. We're bringing in leaders who understand how to build culture, how to develop student athletes, and how to compete at the highest levels. And they are navigating a real challenging new landscape for athletics, and I believe they have all of the right skills to do that. Coach Crimmins and Coach Greer, you're leaders who match the energy and ambition and trajectory of Georgia State. This is a moment. So to our new coaches, welcome to Georgia State. We're excited about your leadership. We believe in your vision, and we're ready to win together. And I encourage everyone in our community to support their cause. You can count on me, you can count on our GSU's First Lady, Dr. Bridget, for our coaches to be with you every step of the way. And now, to say more about our coaches and to introduce them, let me introduce our Director of Athletics, Charlie Cobb.
Getting to the age where I need the glasses to be able to see the sheet of paper. Thank you guys for coming out here. I appreciate Dave and Dr. Blake for the kind words and the welcome. I want to thank Coach McGee for showing up earlier today to talk about spring football because football is important. We've got a full day, and I hope most of you guys will stay around for the scrimmage afterwards to really embrace and value the opportunity to celebrate basketball and football, the two key sports that we have here on our campus. Before I get to introduce our basketball coaches, I got a couple of things I want to say. One, I want to thank Gene Hill and I want to thank Jonas Hayes and their staffs for their leadership of our basketball program over the last several years. They're high-character people involved in our program, and they poured out their souls into our program, which is what we expect from our coaches and our staff. I know it's a bit unusual to have two searches at the same time. I want to thank our staff, especially our administrative staff, for the hours that we put in this. I want to thank Dr. Blake for his commitment of time to help us navigate through it. And I also want to thank Amar Ega and our Office of Legal Affairs. There were a lot of conversations, a lot of things going on behind the scenes that people want to speculate on or hypothesize about that were completely 180 degrees from what they actually were writing about. So, but it's always fun to play a little cat and mouse, candidly, when you're doing coaching searches. To try to keep the confidentiality, because coaches we're talking to, people we're talking to, they want us to respect their confidentiality, and I think it's important for us to do it as well. We focused on a couple of things. We wanted to find energetic coaches committed to playing an aggressive style of basketball. We prioritized someone with previous head coaching experience and someone with experience navigating the transfer world that we live in currently. And the third thing is we wanted coaches who were going to recruit kids to a system, to a style of play that fit them. It wasn't necessarily about going and recruit the quote-unquote star if it didn't fit the system, if they couldn't make it work. We're excited with the coaches where we landed. I'm going to introduce Marcelina first, and then she's going to speak for a minute, and then we're going to introduce John, and then we'll go from there. We have time for questions. But Marcelina Greer joins us from Salt Lake College. She had great success. When we met with her, our staff walked away. When she was leaving to go back to Salt Lake, she said, "Hey, how'd I do?" And I said, "I don't know. Let me talk to our staff, and we'll call you." And I called her I texted her before she got on the plane to go back to Salt Lake. I said, "Wow, our staff really enjoyed you. Now we want to do our background. We want to understand about style of play. We want to understand how you handle certain things that go into running a program. Not just coaching a team, but running a program." And so we did a lot of background. We did our phone calls. She actually sent us some clips of how her team played, and I'm like, wow. Candidly, I'm thinking, here's a junior college that actually probably could beat us. They were physical. They played well together. They played strong defense. And then what she didn't know what we were doing, we were all looking, is we analyzed how she handled her presence on the sideline and how she coached her team. And we thought, wow, there's a belief system that these kids have in their coach and someone who's eager and hungry that wants to be a part of what we're doing. So she's placed a number of kids on D1 rosters, including Sun Belt schools. She knows most of the coaches in our league. So at the end of the day, she knows what the Sun Belt's about. She knows what she's getting into. She's been here for 3 days now. She's already met with our staff. She's already met with our team. She's already done all the things to take advantage of the opportunity to be here. So we're genuinely excited, and so I certainly want to introduce Marcelina Greer, our next women's basketball coach.
Ooh, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, let me get my little paper out. Okay, I want to start by thanking the leadership at Georgia State University, President Blake and Mr. Cobb, for believing in me and trusting me with this opportunity to be the next head women's basketball coach here at Georgia State. I'm truly honored to be the next coach. I'm incredibly grateful for everyone that supported me along this journey, my family, my mentors, my former players, my colleagues. Each of them have played a role in shaping who I am today, and I do not take that lightly. To the young women of this program, current and future players, I want you to know this. We're going to build something special here. We're going to build a culture rooted in discipline, accountability, and love. A place where you can not only grow as a basketball player, but as a woman beyond the game. Our vision is clear. We will compete, we will develop, and we will represent Georgia State with pride, passion, and integrity every single day. I believe in developing student athletes who are relentless on the court, committed in the classroom, and impactful in the community. That is the standard, and we will uphold it. I'm excited to work and connect with our players, engage with our alumni, and build relationships throughout this community. We are going to create an environment that people can be proud of, which is what I'm really excited about. Most importantly, I give all glory to God for placing me in this position. I truly believe I am meant to be here, and I will embrace this challenge with purpose and passion. Go Panthers.
She's trying to mess me up. I'm going to read her notes again real quick. Now we get to do the second part of our doubleheader today. John Crimmins joins us from Vanderbilt. With all due respect, who thought Vanderbilt basketball the last 2 years would have the run they've had, right? It's crazy what these guys have done. John's an experienced coach in the Sun Belt. He's had great success as a college coach. Certainly his 2 years as a head coach. 55 wins in 2 years is a pretty impressive run for a young coach. He's learned from some of the very best. As we were doing our background, the thing that's interesting is when you talk probably talked to 4 or 5, I would say P4 head coaches that I've known through the years and I've gotten to understand. And you run a bunch of names off them. And you say, hey, tell me about this guy, tell me about that guy. Do you know this guy? And every one of them came back and said, he just gets it, those that knew him. And now try to explain that, try to qualify that, try to quantify it. He gets it. He understands what it's about. Great experience in the NIL world, the revenue share world, creativity and trying to create, packages, the program that needs to be in place to help us to recruit at the level that we need to be at. He's prepared for this moment. I think if anybody in our staff that's been here the 2 weeks, John and his staff have been here, just ask our staff what they've noticed in the last 2 weeks. The organization, the communication, the ability to go out and be a part of our community. It's incredible, the energy, the passion. And I got asked one time, I said, do you think he's the guy that can get it done? All I can tell you is proof's in the pudding. He's got a great track record to this point, and the 2 weeks he's been with us have been incredible in terms of the energy and the passion to be a head coach. So with that, I'll introduce Coach John Crimmins.
Good afternoon, everybody. Excited to be home and good to see all these familiar faces. So I want to begin by thanking President Blake and Athletic Director Charlie Cobb for this incredible opportunity and for trusting me to lead this men's basketball program. I'm truly honored and deeply excited to join the Panther family. I wouldn't be standing here today without the incredible people who have poured into me throughout my entire life. None of us reached these moments alone, and I certainly did not. This journey began with family, mentors, colleagues, and the young men, some of those guys in the back, that I've had the privilege to coach. To my family, my mom, my dad, my brother Austin, sister Kimberly, thank you for instilling me a relentless work ethic, humility, and the true meaning of family. To my fiance Ashley, who's in the first row right there, you've survived more than a few portal seasons, even though this one's a tough one right now. You celebrated every win and kept me grounded through every challenge. I could not do this without you. To my uncle Bobby Crimmins, whoever knows him, legendary coach at Georgia Tech. He's far more than a legendary coach to me. He showed me firsthand what genuine leadership looks like. And thank you for giving me the blueprint of how to run a successful program. I want to also thank the outstanding coaches who invested in me along the way. And I have to start with Coach Mark Byington. Thank you for trusting me and giving me the opportunity to build winning cultures, make NCAA tournament runs, and turn programs around. Working under him has been one of the greatest honors of my career. To Mike Helfer at Valdosta State, I wanted to thank him for giving me my start as a graduate assistant. To Dickie Nutt, he was the former head coach of Southeast Missouri State. He gave me my first full-time assistant coaching opportunity, so I have to thank him as well. And I also want to thank my head high school coach, Brian Marks. Just got back to BT as named the new head coach there as well with his family for coming. So I appreciate you, Coach, for coming through. And most importantly, to all the former athletes I've coached, you are the reason why I do this. You taught me far more than ever I could teach you. Through your work ethic, resilience, and character, thank you for trusting me, and thank you for making me a better coach and a man. All these people, my family, my fiance, my mentors, colleagues, all the players I've coached, have prepared me for the dream I've carried since I first stepped onto a basketball court, to become a Division I head coach. Today, that dream becomes a reality at Georgia State University. My vision for the program is simple. We develop great young men, compete at the highest level in the Sun Belt, live out the values of hard work and integrity, and have people-first leadership every single day. Right here in Atlanta, we're going to build something special together. I want to again thank President Blake, Athletic Director Charlie Cobb, my family, and to everyone who has helped me bring me to this moment. I'm incredibly excited for what lies ahead. I'm deeply grateful to be back home and lead this program. Go Panthers.
Right now, we're going to open the floor for questions from members of the media that are with us here this afternoon. If you are a member of the media, you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand, and one of our sports communications staff attendants will bring you the microphone. If you're a fan and you're here, it's great that you're here. We love it. You're going to have the opportunity to speak with and ask questions of both coaches following the conclusion of the press conference during our social period. Thank you.
This question is for Coach Crimmins. You spoke about recruiting here. You're going to do something special here in Atlanta. Atlanta is one of the deepest high school talent pools, especially in the state of Georgia. But you're going to be competing against Tech, who just got a new coach, and Kennesaw, who just came off a good run as well. How do you plan to approach recruiting in this market, and what will make Georgia State stand out? Well, people will come here versus those other schools here in Metro Atlanta?
Yeah, I appreciate your question. And Georgia State is one of one, in my opinion. We live in a great city, great university, great education, and a high level of athletics. And this place is extremely attractive to young prospects out there. There's a lot of guys in the back that played for me, a lot of guys from Atlanta. One of them in particular, Terrence Edwards. He was a player of the year in the conference, national player of the week, and a bunch of other accolades I'm missing. But, this is a special place, and you can feel the energy on campus. No other university is like this one. And, just every day, the energy and the excitement on campus, we'll bring that onto the court as well. That's an exciting style.
Hello, Coach Ray Forte, KB Sports Media. What do you look for the most when bringing in players for your new system?
Yeah, thanks for the question. First of all, 5-star people. That's important to me. And so I find the character checks are really important. I think that tells you, what's really important. And do they want to learn? Do they want to get better? Do they want to be a part of something special? President Blake has elevated this university, this community, and now I want to bring the 5-star people to elevate this basketball program.
Madison Cruz here with 92.9 The Game. My question is for Marcelina. Especially starting out in year one, what are some of the core values that you want to establish early on as you take over the program?
Hard work, discipline, community, big about unity, big about family, but it's all going to start with hard work and discipline.
Also over here for Coach Greer, what attracted you to this job and leaving a school that you had played for and that you had coached for several years?
Everything about Georgia State I love, but the biggest part is the community. When I came here for my interview, the people were just tremendous. Great people, genuine people, and I feel like I'm good with reading people from the JUCO level and all the recruiting that we have to do. So that was first and foremost, was the community base. And then administration. The administration is phenomenal. And where they see the vision of women's basketball going, it intrigued me. And I love the idea of growing something. And I think Georgia State's the place to do that.
Question also for Coach Greer. You've had a lot of success at the junior college level, including a Final Four run, so congratulations on that. How do you see that experience translating to the D1 level here at Georgia State?
That's a good question. To be completely honest, I feel Division I is now JUCO with the portal as far as overturning the roster. And that is something that I've done for 14 years now, is overturn the roster. So that realm doesn't change, but it's all about recruiting the character, the person. I know my system, I know what we're bringing to the system, and recruiting that kind of player, character first, and hard workers that are ready to grind and make history. And that's how we're doing it.
Back over to Coach Crimmins. You had said in your interview with Dave Cohen that you wanted to run the program exactly like you did at Vanderbilt. I just wanted you to expand on that and what that means to you.
Yeah, it's first of all, it's a player-led program. I think those are the best teams, and it's just the culture we had there was a family atmosphere as well, and that's what I'm bringing here with when we get our current team. It's important that family first. The guys that we put on the court, they know they have a head coach and a staff that fully has their backs and gives them the most confidence to go out there and perform at a high level.
My question back for Marcelina, too. For you as well at Salt Lake, not only being the head coach, you were also the assistant athletic director there, too. How do you approach developing players, not only on the court, but also off of the court, and developing them as people, too, in their time collegiately?
Yeah, in order to do that, you have to know them, right? So I have to meet with them, I have to know them. I have to know what their goals are outside of just basketball, what really drives them. And for these young ladies, a lot of them, because I've been there, you don't even know who you are when you come, right? We just know what our parents, what our friends. So I'm big about finding out who they are and what makes them happy. First and foremost, again, it's all relationships. Then from there, you move forward off into the basketball field or the basketball court as far as development. And I'm big on teaching. My mentor is Betsy Speckier. She's a Hall of Fame coach at Salt Lake before me that started that program. And the biggest thing is she taught. So I learned from one of the best in the world. And so teaching and development, small teaching part, whole part, is how we're going to start everything.
Coach Greer, you talked about building a culture rooted in toughness and development. What does that look like, if you could describe it to us day to day, and how do you start establishing that when you have a new group of girls?
Yeah, first and foremost, it comes with being straightforward. I believe in trust. That's how you build trust, is the more straightforward you are. There's no beating around the bush. But also for them to then understand that I care for them more as people than I do for what they can do for me on the floor. Basketball is mental. As much as we think it's so physical, it's so mental, especially for women. And so that's the first thing we step onto when we're coaching them.
Coach, what should fans expect this season from Georgia State women's basketball?
A lot of energy. My staff is great. You're going to love the staff that we're bringing. The players, it's a whole new vibe, a whole new energy. Offensively, we're going to push tempo. Defensively, we're going to dictate. Everything is just going to be a new flair to Georgia State.
I'll ask the same question to John, too, when you're looking at, and especially looking ahead to this first year, what can fans expect from your program?
Yeah, just like Coach Greer said, exciting brand of basketball, up-tempo, fast. But, a team that's out there that's connected, that plays together, that when you watch them play, like, wow, that team is connected. They play hard. They play for each other. They play for the university and play for the city.
And for Coach Crimmins, you might not be able to talk about them specifically yet, but when you've been putting together your first staff, what were you looking to put together with this being your first head coaching job at the D1 level?
Sure. It's the same thing as the players I look for. 5-star people first, people that I know in the business that have great reputations, treat their players with respect, that are great teachers of the game, and great teachers off the court as well. It's important to me to find staff that is an extension of myself, that develops these young men on and off the court, and that's the type of staff that I have put together. We have one more spot to fill, but that's what the blueprint is for my staff.
Coach Crimmins, we've heard a lot of coaches in D1 level talk about transfer, NIL. Some go for high school kids, some go for transfers. What would be your approach? Would it be a hybrid of both high school and transfers, or would you more so want to go for an older, experienced player in the transfer portal?
That's a great question. It's a hybrid of both. There's a lot of great players in this state, not just the city, but in this state. And I think that what makes it special here is there's Division I talent every single night. So it's top-level players competing against each other every night. So it'll be a mixture of high school players as well as transfer portal players as well.
Coach, with your uncle being a legendary coach here in the city, do you have a certain amount of pressure that you feel like you are under, or do you look forward to the challenge?
No, I look forward to the challenge, and he's been an unbelievable mentor for me, and so I look forward to the challenge. I'm blessed to be, have my last name, and he's been a great mentor for myself.
I'll leave him alone. Please don't.
All right, last chance. Any further questions for our two new basketball coaches, our president or athletic director? If you're a fan, we're going to do that following the press conference. But any other members of the media with a question? Brady? No? All right, then. Well, Panther fans, thank you for attending and watching via ESPN Plus today's formal introduction of our two new head basketball coaches, Coach Greer and Coach Crimmins. As you've heard, it's an exciting time at Georgia State basketball, Georgia State University athletics, as the men's and women's basketball programs head in a new direction. On behalf of Georgia State University athletics, we want to thank you for your ongoing support of Georgia State. And as we say always, go Panthers!